Hello everybody and welcome to your daily lighting critique. We've got a few projects to go through here, so let's go ahead and fire it up. All right, let me make sure that these are nice and big. All right, here we go. So first project here, excellent progress. Love the shaping on it. Think it's definitely coming together. The one thing that I'm missing, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to go like that. One of the things that I wanted to do when looking back in the previous iteration, by the way, like smoke is looking great over here. The background value is about right. I love the shaping that we're getting on the character. I just think the character can get a little bit brighter as a whole. So like if we go ahead and see if this quick selection will actually work. Object select, I should say. And yeah, there she goes. Amazing. Okay. So the one value that I really liked about the other one was that, it was kind of like good in the midtones, like kind of up, and might be a little bit bright, but like kind of up around here while maintaining some of that shaping. Now some of this, like again, this is just essentially a gamma correction, but you can see that it's kind of lifting those values a little bit and getting it into the range that we want. So again, like it would fill in the fill values a little bit, like these blacks are getting a little more crunchy. So it'd be a matter of upping the key light on the character and upping the fill light on the character a little bit as well. Now for the background, I do think, and you feel free to disagree with me as much as often as you would like, but basically when we're seeing these values back here kind of silhouetted, meaning that there's no value in the leaves itself, I think there's an opportunity missed for adding more depth to the scene, because it really does just feel like a character with good shaping and good shaping here on a like almost like a flat background. So what I'd love to see is get a little bit of value in these leaves here just to create a little bit of shaping. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to direct the viewer's eye or anything, but it's just, if you kind of just look at the background, it's pretty graphic like it's a graphic flat thing. Now, if that was the style of the overall piece, I could totally get behind it. But the fact that the character is more, not realistic, but more like a traditional animation look to it, then I think that would be what that feeling is. But overall, everything else is looking really good. I might pull the fish a little bit out of the fog just to create like a little bit of contrast on it, so we can read it a little bit more. But other than that, I think things are looking really, really good. All right, moving on. Great, all starting to come together really well. And now we're just down to the itty bitty, like super minor notes. Some things like, and then basically these are going to come down to the eyes of the characters, which there's two things. One are the eyes, like this eye ding right in the middle. I would like to see that shifted over a little bit. And since this eye isn't in direct sunlight, actually, you know what? I take that back. This eye is not in direct sunlight. It's in shadow, which means that the reflection would be kind of a reflection back in up off the room. So maybe just something down over here that's about 20% of the value of that. And then it's almost like taking this one and bringing it over here, because we need that bright sunlit eye ding on this side, like right about there. And for this guy, I think that like this area right in here is it's pretty jet black. And it's again, like inside of here, it kind of feels almost two-dimensional. So I almost want to get a little bit of value in there. And then for the eyes, we're kind of living in this realm between human eyes and robot eyes, and that they're not human eyes because they don't look like hers. They don't have the shaping. They don't have the value and stuff. But they're not like, I'm not convinced that those are like a designed robot eyes or something. Like I would expect there to be a little bit more to them. Like if you were designing the eyes for an AI droid or like whatever, you would want some more playfulness in the eyes a little bit. So I think maybe just getting a little bit more in there would be good. Now it might just be a matter, and I forget what the geo is in this one. It might be a matter of just like creating a little bit more value. Like if you want the eyes to be this kind of black and white look, that's totally fine. It's just a matter of getting a little bit more value in here to kind of separate that out, because it just looks like like I said, a little bit like a little flattened graphic in there. And then the only other thing, because I love this, like this right here on the curtain is so good, and just the curtains and the values and everything are really flowing together well. The saturation on the colors is feeling good, except for this cup. Let's take down the saturation on that cup just a touch, because like we really want to kind of balance all these colors together to make a homogeneous scene. And but the only, what was I gonna say? So all of that's come together really well, but I feel like we need a little bit more light wrap. especially on the window to the outside. So just, if you can, just get a little bit more light wrap around there, and I think that'll help out a lot. Because right now it's a pretty like hard edge, like pixel to pixel break on it. If you need help on that, I've got it somewhere in the courses. Just look for an edge wrap or light wrap tutorial. I believe it's definitely in the lighting for animation course, but it's probably mixed in the environment course as well. Okay, let's go back to this guy. So now we've got this one. We've got these two are submissions, and this one is the reference. So let's talk about the reference. It's totally monochromatic for the most part. I mean, like you'll see like a little bit of green down in here, but for the most part, monochromatic with this pop of red to draw the eye, right? The great thing about this is value structure. This image right here is like a masterclass in value structure. Again, darks up front, going down to the back. Got the cloud in here that's kind of bright, that's drawing our attention here to the middle, and then we get this payoff right here in the middle, which is red lights, silhouette, silhouette. Like we read that across. If you notice, this house has more rim light than anything else, so it's definitely like here to here, they're going in there. Like we know what's happening right away. It's beautiful. It's really, really well done. Great reference, great choices. Now let's take a look at the submissions you got. Now, these are great. Like you're doing some of this stuff already. Good value structure, falling off from dark points, going back. We are missing some of like the, and this is totally a style thing. Like we are missing some of like the elements up here that could really help bracket it, like similar to like this and this to kind of help frame in the shot a little bit more. But I see what you're going with there. Now, I do think that the sky, as we go down this way, could perhaps get a little bit brighter. Push that value up just a little bit more. And that will help to create some more contrast, or lead the viewer's eye, and then that'll also create some more contrast on our character itself. Now, again, totally up to you how much you want to do that. And again, that's a very lame, gross way of doing it. But just something like back there to kind of like center us in and get us right there on the character. Now, the one thing that, one element that isn't here that is in the reference, obviously, is the bright red light. Now, we could do... Now, it's up to you whether or not you want to put it in, right? Like, I'm not going to tell you have to or anything like that, but one thing is, like, if this character just had, like... And I don't know the story behind it, but if they just had like a little bit of kind of red glowing eyes going down, like that would definitely draw the attention right there in the middle. And then I thought too, again, since we're reading the reference, is like if one of these, like this window light up here is pretty neutral, like maybe that could be that. Like that could be a red light, and then the red is what's drawing the character to it. Again, I don't know your story. I don't know what you're building here, but just playing off the reference a little bit, how strong and stark that is to the storytelling, that could very much be a good way to go. Now, this one I actually feel like we could do a little more with the value going back into space a little bit. Let's see, it's just... I'm trying to think, like looking at the structure, like the character here feels a little bit overly lit because I don't see anything else around them that's like that. Like the difference between that and in the reference, this being hit heavily with the rim is that you see it some other place. I kind of see it up there, kind of see it like on the characters on the car. For this one, it's only on the character, right? So that would be one thing there too. Again, so you would be able to. And again, do what you want. But for me, it'd be a matter of toning down this rim light, maybe showing some red glow coming out of it. Like maybe just like a little bit, like it's just a little red in the haze, and then that ties into the red up there. And then for the value structure, yeah, like I think we can go darker in the foreground elements here and allow, because we need something to help us like center us in. So we need some darker elements out here, and then again, same kind of value shift across the sky going back this way to kind of get our eye drawn back there. So a little bit brighter in the middle. The house itself also feels like it's pretty heavily in fog. It's not that far back in space. Like I feel like it's about the same level as this house, but in terms of distance from the camera and stuff. But like it's a much heavier fog element on top of it. So I would almost push it all back a little bit so that this house gets a little more contrasty. These are like mid-ground foliage gets about the level that this building is at, and then whatever's behind it gets this high level of fog. I also like, again, in the reference, there was a pretty clear-cut path leading up to the house. Like I said, it's subtle, but there's just like a little bit of sidewalk that leads through here. That's definitely like, okay, you can see where the characters are going. Here, it's a little bit occluded, so I almost want to see the path in, right? Because that's, again, like leading the viewer's eye down the journey. So, all right, that's pretty much it for today. If anybody has any questions or if I missed anything, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. All right, happy lighting, everybody.